Welcome to A Shot of Rock. I am your host, Alex, and I am here with one of my favorite bands right now, Cage9.
I'm Leslie, I play bass.
I'm Evan, I sing and play guitar.
I'm Fielder, I play drums.
I'm Maddie, I play guitar.
How's the tour been so far?
Awesome!
Great.
It's been super good. It's been, yeah, actually you could quote me on that. It has been super, super good. Like that, two supers. I mean, we've been a pretty, consistent touring band. The past year and a half, we've been recording our record. But besides that, over the past couple of years, we've toured a lot, and I can honestly say this has definitely been like one of the most awesome tours we've done. And that's not saying anything bad about all our friends that we've toured with over the past couple of years, but it's just awesome to get to go out with not to put it bluntly, a legend, Lacey Sturm. I mean, I've always been like a big Flyleaf fan, and if you might have seen in the credits, I mixed and produced her new album. This is like her first new album post Flyleaf. It's her solo album, and I even got to play a solo and some backing vocals. I might even go up on stage tonight and sing little backing vocals. We'll see if I've been a good boy, but yeah, it's just it's great to see her every night just like destroy, and she brings like crazy energy and passion every single night. Obviously, she lifts her crowd. I mean, just the people that come to see her are just so enthralled with everything she does. So just to be part of that is like a huge honor for us, So
yeah, the crowd's been fantastic.
Yeah,
I've seen the pictures,
Great. Yeah,
and they've all been
Cannot complain.
ginormous.
No complaints here.
Well, that's good. Okay, so you've helped with that, and you have the new album out, which if you haven't listened to it, you're fucking dumb. And it's called Illuminator, and it's one of my favorites. It's been on repeat since it came out on June 3rd.
Awesome.
And how has your guys' response, like the response you've seen, been? Was it what you expected?
I don't know. I think like I personally didn't really come into this tour with a lot of expectations. These songs for us are all new, so we hadn't even really played like half of these songs live. So it was kind of in some ways really exciting because you're getting, it's like brand new for us too. So we're playing these songs kind of for the first time. And so we get to kind of take them on their maiden voyage and see how people react. And honestly, it's been awesome. We had done a few shows where we played a few of these songs, and we tried to figure out like what song should we play first in the set, what should we close the set with, that kind of stuff. And we kind of tailored it according to the way people were reacting. And like now we've settled on opening with the closing song on the album, which is called Take Back Tomorrow. And it turns out to be an awesome opening set, song. So that's been kind of fun because it feels like an opening song, but for the record, it just made a lot of sense to kind of put it towards the end because it kind of closed off the album with like kind of a bang or whatever. And but for live, it's been awesome to start with it because it actually does embody a whole bunch of different things that happen on the album. To talk about the album for a second, it's actually a very dynamic mix of things. There's a lot of stuff going on that record where you might, from a different band, say, like, is this the same band? But I feel like we kind of succeeded in getting all these sort of different sounds and different styles and vibes, kind of made them gel on one record, And so being able to try to bring that live has been a little tricky, but it's awesome. And it's been really cool to hear people, say what song they like best. And, again, when you make an album, you don't really have expectations of how you think people are going to react. You kind of just do what you feel most excited about and what what your vision is. And obviously you hope people like it, but that's not really the way you can, like, for your own mental sake, think about when you're really making music. You kind of just have to go like with the artistic, I'm doing this because I like the way this sounds. I got really excited when I played that one riff, these lyrics make a lot of sense to me, that kind of thing, So this has been really awesome, it's almost, this essentially was the maiden voyage for this whole album for us, so it's been extremely awesome.
You start with Take Back Tomorrow. Is there like a music video in the works for that?
Oh,
possibly just a different one, different song?
We have been kind of thinking about that. Maybe now we're done with the tour in about 3 more shows, so sadly. But we'll be back in LA and we will kind of regroup looking at how these songs have gone over. Yeah, that actually would be really cool. I was actually thinking it would be cool to make a video for that song. And as we'd kind of discussed earlier, me and this guy here do our videos, so we just pull out our camera like, all right, what are we shooting? You want to make a video? Go over there, bark like a dog. Okay, I'm shooting you. All right, we got our video. It's really easy. So we will probably bang something out in the next
That's the
few
easy
weeks.
part. Tough part is actually picking the song.
Yeah.
The track,
Yeah. So maybe Take Back Tomorrow. I don't know.
It could be a good one.
Oscuro is my other pick, and Starry Eyes.
Starry Eyes is my favorite off the
Yeah.
album, actually.
Okay, maybe Starry Eyes. Maybe we just decided. I don't know.
Yeah,
I do have some ideas for that one actually. So
I made Jake listen. Fan vote might be a good idea. Put it on Facebook. Cause,
Do a poll.
yeah, and
Because
see.
the one cool thing, going back to your question about the response is we don't get people that like pick one certain song as their favorite. We get a lot of different people. Oh, this song is Martyr's my favorite, or like Take Back or Starry Eyes. So that's really positive because the whole album is like going over well.
it's just an album full of hits. I mean,
It's just a great album. You guys do your own stuff. You mixed, you recorded, you did all the stuff for your record yourself, and then you created your last video for Everything You Love Will Someday Die. What did it take to come up with that idea for the music video?
pretty straight up. I just like. I don't know. It felt like that concept. It wasn't not like a totally original concept or anything, but just the whole idea behind the song of like nothing lasts forever essentially. And I thought it would be kind of funny to. I've always kind of wanted to do one of those videos where you had like all your friends show up and sing the song and stuff. It's not like particularly original, but I just think it's fun. And I thought. Since the song kind of has a dark, almost, obviously it's not the most cheery idea, but it's like we could make this kind of more fun and, make people more engaged and maybe pay more attention to the idea behind it and everything. So it kind of just made a lot of sense, Not a whole lot of thought into the idea. It was just like I wanted to do that kind of video, and we knew it would be easy to do. We basically just put up a black sheet, invited everybody to come over to our rehearsal spot, and we shot most of it in like one day. So, I mean... It took like a long time to finally put it all together, but we did most of it in like 1 or 2 days. So, and it wasn't too hard, I think the only thing looking back now, when we were discussing it later, is like we should have lined everybody up better because we kind of shot people and somebody's head would be all close and the next guy would be far away. We're like, forgot about that part. Beginner's mistake, but it still turned out cool. We were able to kind of line people up enough that it made sense, and I think it kind of conveys the idea. You're looking at old people, young people, green people, purple people, and they all die apparently. So that's the message we hopefully you take away from our cheery, awesome video.
You have an acoustic for Everything You Love Will Someday Die, and I have to admit it's entirely different than what
Hi, Lacey. Lacey Stern's over there, everybody. Look over there. She's over there.
And it's totally different from what I expected it to sound like. Was there a process that you guys had to go through to get it
transpose
to
it to like acoustic version?
Thanks for giving me a word that I wasn't going to use.
I went for the big word. If you saw, I was like transpose to the musical accoutramentation. I just made up another word. I actually that as that song starts like with an acoustic guitar, so it kind of just felt like the logical thing would just be make the whole song exactly like that intro. And that's essentially what we did. It just kind of stretched out that intro part that instead of all of a sudden becoming like Metallica Megadeth, we just kept being not Metallica Megadeth. It just made sense to kind of keep it kind of rolling in the same vibe as that intro. So essentially the whole song is the intro stretched into 5 minutes or whatever. And it was cool because I'll always when you do like an acoustic version, you end up like finding different little variations of the song that you wouldn't have done, obviously, in the electric version. And, like the beginning, I was like texting the guys while I was doing the vocals later. I was like, hey, should I do this like more, I forgot what word I was using, but I was trying to decide if I wanted to sing it really high, like the actual song, or sing it like really low. And I can't think of how I described it, but it was really funny in hindsight. I'm sorry I can't share it with you guys. I was like, should I do the Nick Cave, like, super low vocal? And that's what I ended up doing, and I think it was kind of cool. Although I don't know if I could do that live, because when you're trying to, like, sing really loud, you often can't do the lower stuff, so I don't know. But, yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. It turned out cool. And then we ended up, like, really, we recorded it. Maybe just a couple days later, we shot the video of us doing it in our rehearsal room always. So if you'll notice, the pattern with Cage9 is that we shoot everything like in our rehearsal spot. That's how we save money. We're just like, hey, you guys want to go like rent a big studio and shoot our video? No, let's do it here for free. Okay, it has been decided. We will shoot it here for free.
I shot a video for a local band, and we did it in their basement. And the dimensions they gave me were a lie. So I brought the wrong lenses. But luckily I had my kit lens, which was a lot smaller.
Did they put inches instead of feet? Kind of like Spinal Tap and the...
No, they're just like, we think it's about this. And I was like, okay. And they sent me pictures. I was like, oh, okay, that looks pretty big.
It's huge, so a wide angle lens.
Pretty much. And I'm like...
This is Airbnb shot here.
This is not... I stepped in and I'm like... This is like a closet. It was smaller than this room. And I
had out the wide angle.
Yeah, I was sitting in the closet, and I'm like, oh shit.
Is this what my life has come to?
It has. Okay, so when it comes to Starry Eyes, I'm bringing it back to the album again because I get off track. I am sorry. It happens. Okay, with Starry Eyes, what was the angle for going and writing that song? Because I could probably quote it by heart, but I'm not going to because that's going to make me sound like a crazy person.
Yeah, don't do that.
What were you going for? What was the message with that song?
It's about kind of like social media. You know, some people thought maybe it was like about religion and stuff, and yes and no, actually. It's about the religion of kind of, you know, social media and how everybody feels like they need to, you know, what we worship these days, and it really has everything to do with, you know, what's on that screen in front of you, you know, kind of the more superficial side of what social media and everything is, and, you know, people are just, really, we're all just sheeple, and when we get on those phones, thank you, Google, jeez, Facebook.
Like if something's trending.
Right.
Then
you're on the bandwagon, you know, so that's essentially where the inspiration for that song came from.
Does that change how you guys interact on social media with that
we
thought
are
process?
Also the sheeple, I guess you could say.
Website's a bandwagon, you gotta kind of...
Let me give you an impression of what we look like while we're in the van.
I catch Pokemons every day. In the van, outside of the van.
Drool.
It's like a bandwagon you gotta jump on but take over instead of just sitting.
Right.
Yeah. To your advantage. You don't have a choice. I mean,
yeah, we're pointing the finger, but the finger really is pointing back at us. But yeah, we're all the sheeple, I guess. It's just an observation.
But does it change like how you guys interact with people on like your band's Facebook page or what you post?
I think I try to be as, and I'm sure every band would say this, but you're trying to be as personal as you can. You know, you're trying to have the direct interaction with people that like your music, that like what your band is about, or like your songs. So, you know, you want to be as real as possible. You can't help but obviously make a post that you want to like appeal to as many people as possible. So you kind of end up sounding like an infomercial. And that's what you don't want to be as a band. You don't want to be an infomercial. You don't want to be the sellouts that are trying to sell their music, you know.
How dare you try to make money? For shame.
So, you know, you try to kind of walk that line between like legitimate human beings interacting with friends, you know, the friends that you have made as fans online, and also kind of explain what you're about without being too much of an infomercial. So yeah, it's kind of tricky, you know. It's a tricky time to be a band and take advantage of those things, but then not be a total, you know, douchebag, I guess.
It's a balance.
Yeah. I don't know where we fall in that, by the way. We might just be douchebags. I'm not sure.
I think everyone on social media is just a giant douchebag. It just depends on to what degree.
Right. Yeah. The douchebag meter.
Sometimes mine's just really high.
That post really shot up. I see that our douchebag meter's through the roof today. That's good.
Yay! More views, I guess. This is random questions. Kind of lightning round. I'm gonna ask you random shit that you've probably been asked 500 times. Okay, so first album you ever purchased. Everyone has to answer and go.
Nirvana, Nevermind.
That was given or
you
like,
bought?
I bought myself.
You bought yourself the first album you ever bought.
Probably the Black Metallica album. That was my first record.
Yeah, I'm not super sure because I feel like I was given my first couple ones also. My first one that I was given, by the way, was Injustice for All Changed My Life. But I think the first one I purchased was Seventh Son of a Seventh Son by Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna have to copy Matt. Black Album.
Nice. Okay.
Although I will say the first album was given was Prince Diamonds and Pearls.
That's bad.
Get out.
I was like 10. You know, if you know any of the music on that record, it's just not very suitable for children. But it was.
Actually,
I still have it.
Well, Les had a good story. What did you say you bought the other day? You bought Louis Armstrong.
Hit the button and you started over.
Yeah. I bought
Stop mouthing at me, Jake.
I bought a Louis Armstrong CD thinking it was going to be some blues guitarist. I was mistaken.
Wonderful world. That was Yoda, sorry.
Okay, speaking of Yoda, new favorite Star Wars character from The Force Awakens? Or did you not watch it?
Poe.
I'm a nerd, so I actually have the giant 18-inch action figure of Poe.
What's the there's the one character on there. Looks like a regular stormtrooper, but he's got that sweet.
Oh, the double.
Oh fuck! I used to know his name.
I've seen it already a few times, but I suck at like throwing out names.
Describe the character I know.
Oh, is that the one that Jabba the Hutt was in? Oh no, because his little sidekick is my favorite one. Oh, that guy's awesome. Okay,
The one that just laughs.
I just went back to Return of the Jedi. Sorry. I love the girl. I forget what her name is, but the lead character.
Rey.
Yeah, she's sick. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's a badass. But there's no action figures of her. People have been complaining.
I made one actually out of Play-Doh.
Oh, did you?
I can get it's in the car. I can give it to you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'd totally accept that.
Play-Doh.
I haven't watched it yet.
You have, for shame.
He actually just moved from Russia like 20
Yeah.
minutes ago. Actually, he's only been here. He just landed. They dropped him off with a drone.
No, it was
in the parking
UPS.
lot. Oh,
It was UPS.
Remember, you ordered me for the tour.
Mail order Russian
So-
drummer.
Is UPS cheaper then
Yeah.
to get it? All right.
If you are, does it work
More
going back?
convenient.
Does it work going back to Russia that way? Like, can we take the drone back? That's the question. I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
As long as his papers are correct.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
My friend
Might end up in
and her
Brazil.
husband lived in Russia for a year as foreign
cool.
exchange students.
Where? In St. Petersburg?
I think it was close to there.
Uh-huh.
No, they were an hour away. That's all I know. I'm a terrible friend. I'm a terrible
I would like to give it up to Fyodor here. He's been playing with us now only for about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So we actually had to hustle and find a drummer for our tour, and this is the man he was actually just a couple doors down from our rehearsal spot. And I had just put up like a drummer wanted ad for this tour. I was like, need somebody now.
And I just walked by.
He just happened to walk by. I was like, hey. Boom. 10 minutes later, knew the whole set. Here we are.
That's talent. All right.
Yeah.
Here's the one just for you. How crazy do you think we are
Oh, yeah.
in the U.S.?
Russian crazy people.
I wouldn't say people are crazy here, but I don't know. It's a long question, you know.
Long answer.
It's a long answer. And, yeah,
The answer
it's tough.
goes and goes. So. To answer, he thinks we're insane. We're absolutely crazy.
It depends. I live in Hollywood. It's pretty insane there in general. Just the whole environment. So.
Well, if you miss the cold,
No,
come to
I don't
Iowa
miss
during the winter and it'll feel exactly the same.
I like Minnesota. So. It's the same in the winter, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of cold.
I think-
Have you seen the YouTube videos of everybody doing crazy things? Those are all Russian people, though.
I know.
We do have proof. It's called YouTube.
Yeah. All those dash cam compilations.
Okay.
Okay. Best concert you've ever been to?
I saw an outdoor show with Alice in Chains, Mastodon, and Deftones, and I remember that being pretty sweet. But that's tough too. I've seen so many.
Yeah.
I saw Smashing Pumpkins for my birthday maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. And I don't know why, they were like jamming half the set or whatever. But I think they had the way they had the lights, the way he was like going from song to song. And that's pretty much like my favorite band. And I had never seen them before. So whether what they were doing was awesome or not, I was just so blown away. It was by far the most awesome thing I've like ever seen. And I had other friends that actually had been there that day. I was like, oh, that was terrible. I was like, So I thought it was so damn good because they were like mind reading each other and just like going off into these like musical tangents and like, you know, again, I'd never seen, you know, I'm like a huge Billy Corgan fan just all around. I know he's a jerk, whatever. I love the guy. He's a genius, you know. So
it's all about how they are on stage.
Yeah.
That's why you never.
I really don't care. Yeah, I don't care like, you know, how most of these musicians are backstage or how they are like in real life. It's like, are they musical geniuses? Then I shall worship them. It's very simple. But that was pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever.
Well, I've actually never went to a huge concert before. I think the biggest one I've ever gone to was a Joe Diffie concert in Kentucky.
Well, it's not about biggest. It's about the best.
That definitely wasn't the best. I don't really know.
Mine was Seven Dust, small bar in Des Moines.
Whoa.
Just fucking front row, blew my mind. They also got a pic down my cousin's shirt, so she caught a pic that way.
He's a dude?
No. Giant double D's. And she fist bumped Clint, and then it became a game, so we ended up leaving with like 16 pics each.
Whoa.
It was just all the pics.
Bling. That's awesome. I did actually catch Audio Slave. It was like their first, I think, one of their first rehearsal shows that nobody, like, I guess someone somehow like tipped us off that there was going to be something awesome going on at the Roxy in LA. And because we were, at that time, we were just always like out on the sidewalks, like slinging flyers, trying to promote our band. And one of the bouncers was like, dude, you should come down tonight. Something awesome's going to happen. We're like, okay. So we went. It was all just like local bands. And everybody at that time had been like hearing about the rumors about Audio Slave with like Chris Cornell and Rage or whatever. And the curtain opens up. There's like probably like 40 or 50 people. We were just standing there. At that moment, had no idea who it was. And it was like Chris Cornell and Rage Against the Machine. We're like, oh! That would definitely... another extremely, maybe second most awesome thing I've ever seen on stage. And they killed it. They were so good. It was really awesome.
For me, it was Slipknot show in St. Petersburg. It was just awesome. It's a wild, uncontrolled energy. And then Bring Me the Horizon in Moscow. It's a kind of, for me, it's kind of a younger edition of Slipknot, to me, energy-wise. So, and also Sting's concert in Moscow, it was really good. And here in States, I saw The Roots.
I was
High Times Cannabis Cup. It was so good. I mean, how Questlove is just a human drum machine, I would say. It's one of my drum heroes.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How are the crowds different in other parts of the world? Because I've heard that they're a lot different from what they are now. Or from here.
You do find like a big, difference. We always laugh like in Japan in between. They're like, they get really rowdy, but as soon as the song, they like clap. They're super polite too, so obviously they get all pumped and they're like, they jump around, they go really nuts during the songs, but then as soon as you're done, they clap and then they stop and it's like dead quiet. And of course you can't really communicate, so my usual stupid banter does not quite work, so I'm just like, okay, let's start the next song. Quick. Like,
the silence is awkward, go!
Yeah. But yeah, everywhere is a little bit different, I guess. Different
From my
cultures.
experience, it's the difference is more even in the sizes of the cities and not in the countries, So if you're playing in LA, it's one reaction. It's not going to be like super, excited. But if you go to a smaller city, people are more responsive usually. Well, in my experience, I don't know.
Okay, last two questions. This has gone on really long because I talk a lot. Okay, so weirdest thing you have seen on tour. Doesn't have to be this tour. This is gonna be a good one.
Oh, Matt, you want to tell the story?
I like Fyoder's story.
Okay, good. Yeah, Fyoder's story.
Dude, you met on Grindr. Someone had that T-shirt printed up and walking around with that.
Say that again, because that was just so good.
No, yeah, we were out in the lake, like Hennepin, and I was standing in a circle, minding our own business. So it's a big lake, and so there's this guy, and he's walking towards us, like in the water, and I kind of noticed what's he kind of doing, walking right at us, there's plenty of room, and he comes right up, and I thought he may have recognized us or something. He whispers something like, "What?" He's like, "Are you the guy that I met on Grindr?" He said he was wearing orange shorts, and I had like a sliver of orange. So I was like, "No, man, I'm sorry, I'm not the dude you met on Grindr." So I was set up for that, and I won't be living it down, I'm sure.
We were all just standing around like,
sport. You know, bless his heart. I hope he did find that guy. He was a lovely young man, but just it wasn't really my thing.
That was awesome. I know he divulged a lot of information so quick. He could have just been like, are you Hot Boy 69? Like, no. But he had to like lay it out there.
Hot Boy's really.
And we're all just like, yes.
That was good to see.
That was pretty good. Also, Fyodor has a good one too.
Yeah, but you tell the story. How you see it.
You can do it.
I met someone in the bushes in Battle Creek. So some kind of an animal, and I asked the guys like, "Do you know what animal was that?" I guess I saw a skink, and they said, "What? Who was that?" Well, you tell the story.
Yeah, he's like, I saw a skink. We're like, oh, well, yeah, probably. It's like little animal, like black, with the white thing. It stinks. Like, yeah, it's a skink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, skunk. Right. Yes, skunk.
Yeah, I heard there's a big difference.
There's a difference. Not much though.
So now I know.
Little bit.
Not much.
Little bit.
Mm-hmm.
One smells worse than the other. You can figure out which one that is.
Yeah, well, it depends.
Depends on the state.
Okay. So, what is the best piece of advice? This is the final question. Best piece of advice you have ever received about being in a band?
A friend of mine, actually, the guitar player for kind of mid 2000s band. God, actually, they might be from Nebraska now. When I think about it, they're called Shovel. You know a band called Shovel? Mike, I think, is the guitar player's name. But he one time told me, for some reason, this always sticks in my head. He's like, I think he was probably wasted or something, but he was like, dude, whatever you do, whatever you do, like, do it, like, to the absolute most of your ability. Like, if you're a good shredder, like, you play, cool solos, like, do that, but times 1,000, like, whatever it is, find what you do and just, do it 100 times better than you think you can. Like, find your, like, strong point and just, like, just kill it. And I remembered it. It didn't really occur to me so much, but I feel like over the past, that was like probably like 10 years ago, and just like even when we were working on this album, I feel like his like words kept ringing in my head because we'd like work on a part of the song, like that's really cool, and I think about what he said, like let's make this better. This can be better. Let's go. It's hard especially as a band that kind of self-produces, self-records. Like you're always quick to be happy with something. You'll record something and then you think it sounds cool and you're like, all right, we're done. But, he kind of inspired me, I think, especially just on this new record where it was like, stuff was cool, but it's like, let's make it cooler. Let's keep pushing it, let's make these lyrics cooler. Let's make this drum part cooler. Let's make this solo cooler, You gotta, like, really push yourself. And that's like it is actually awesome, advice, because we're so quick to kind of like, when we finally get to a point where we feel like we've done something good, we're like, great, I did something good, and that's like it. But you kind of, at that point is where you need to kind of like go further. You have to be better than good, because everybody else can do good. You should do like awesome. You should just try to really knock it out of the park every time. Even when you think it's pretty cool, like keep going. Keep going until you're like bleeding. If that sounds weird, but anyway, you get it. You know what I mean.
Sounds accurate. Every time I try to draw or do art, I end up banging my head against the wall. I'm like, this looks like shit, and then I have to walk away for like a month.
Yeah, and that's actually important too. Like, you gotta walk away sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, next person. Sorry, I interrupted.
I absolutely agree with Evan, but I don't remember any like advices I've been given, but I just absolutely agree with what he just said.
Someone told me once location. And I think that applies to anything in life. Like, whatever you want to do, just go to where people are doing it, and the opportunities will be there.
That's why I'm in Omaha.
I like Omaha.
Yeah, we like it here. It's awesome.
I used to work here.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think it's just more like mindset, I mean, just capping off being in the right location, giving it all you got, and then just relentless determination. I mean, you got to put it all in if that's what you want. If you want it, you gotta go for it wholeheartedly. Pick up and move. You have to keep challenging yourself. So I don't know if I've ever got any direct advice, but it's more just kind of the mindset. I think that you need to have to approach it and just keep right above the water.
All right, that's it for A Shot of Rock. I am your host, Alex. This has been my interview with Cage9. Their new album, Illuminator, was out on June 3rd. You should have it already. If you don't, get off your ass and get it. And we'll see you at the rock show. Bye-bye.